Welcome back to the Poorly. Welcome back to the Poorly Educated podcast, the only show where your host's political science degree came free with a Slim Jim. It's day 31 of the great government shutdown of 2025, or as I like to call it, America's longest unpaid internship. You ever seen a whole country on hold? It's like the DMV got promoted to national manager. Segment 1, A Nation on Hold. So here we are, 31 days deep into the shutdown. Over 900,000 federal employees are furloughed, another 700,000 working for free, and the military's looking at their first missed paycheck ever. Even the Pentagon's coffee machine went on strike. They say the GDP's losing $14 billion, which I can't even imagine. That's like every truck stop in America forgetting to stock beef jerky for a year. And get this, the party in charge ain't even fighting the other side no more. They're fighting themselves. Republicans got the House, the Senate, and the White House, and somehow still can't pass a budget. That's like owning a grill, the propane, and the steaks, and still ending up at McDonald's. Segment 2. The filibuster fistfight. Now Trump flew back from Asia and decided the solution ain't negotiating, it's nuking the filibuster. He wants Senate Republicans to ditch the 60-vote rule so they can pass bills with 51. Basically, he's saying, if you can't win the game, set the field on fire. But the Senate boss, John Thune, said, "No, sir, we like our rules just fine." Which is funny, because that's the same thing I say when my uncle tries to turn Thanksgiving into karaoke night. The filibuster's like grandma's old cast-iron skillet. You don't throw it out just because it's hard to clean. But Trump's framing it as, if you don't kill the filibuster, you hate the troops in grandma's dinner. Classic move. Make it sound like constitutional principles are starving babies. Meanwhile, the Senate's like, "Sir, we ain't gonna rewrite 200 years of rules because you lost your remote." Segment 3. The Snapocalypse now. Now here's where it gets real. The shutdown means SNAP benefits. That's food stamps. Stop tomorrow. 42 million folks might lose the money they use to buy groceries. 42 million. That's basically everyone in the South, plus the line outside Waffle House at 2 a.m. There's a $5 billion emergency fund sitting right there. But the USDA says they can't touch it because it's for natural disasters. Buddy, 42 million hungry people sounds like a natural disaster to me. If hunger ain't a storm, it's a Category 5 grumble. And instead of calm info, the USDA website now says Democrats want to fund gender mutilation and illegal aliens. Imagine clicking for peanut butter guidelines and getting a campaign ad. Next thing you know, the food pyramid gonna have Fox News at the top. Segment 4. The Courtroom Cookout. So 25 states, led by New York, California, and Massachusetts, are suing the administration to make them release those funds. Judge Indira Talwani up in Boston basically told Trump's lawyers, "You ain't letting folks starve for politics." She even said, "You are not going to make everyone drop dead because it's a political game." That's what we call a legal spanking. She might order the government to use that money right now. If so, she'll save Thanksgiving and be the only person in America who actually fed people this month. The White House lawyers argued it's too hard to calculate partial payments. "Buddy, I can split a pizza bill 6 ways at 2 a.m. You can figure out how to feed hungry families." Segment 5. The Data Blackout and the Beef Jerky Index. Because so many federal agencies are closed, no one's releasing economic data. We ain't got new GDP numbers, unemployment stats, or trade reports. The Fed's flying blind. It's like trying to drive a combine harvester through a fog machine. Businesses don't know what's coming, so they ain't hiring. It's a national game of hold my beer and wait. Meanwhile, the Urban Institute says cutting SNAP could shove millions back into poverty. That's not a ripple effect. That's a belly flop in the kiddie pool of the economy. And these new plans they got, the Big Beautiful Bill Act, adds work requirements for food stamps. If you can't find a job, you don't get to eat. Which is like saying, if your truck won't start, we're keeping your gas. Research shows that stuff don't make folks work more. It just makes them hungrier. It's the only fitness plan Congress ever passed. Segment 6. A crisis of governance and common sense. What we got here ain't just a shutdown. It's a showdown between reality and ego. Trump's using hunger like leverage, saying the only way to feed folks is to let him rewrite the rules. That's not governing. That's hostage negotiation with your own country. Polls say most Americans blame the White House for this mess. But the Senate's out of session, House members went home, and millions of people are waiting to see if they can afford groceries tomorrow. I ain't saying our leaders don't care. I'm just saying if caring was a budget item, it'd be under review. This ain't just a policy fight. It's a trust crisis. We used to believe our government could do basic stuff. Keep lights on, pay troops, feed families. Now we're watching them trip over their own shoelaces on live TV and call it strategy. In conclusion, so what's the lesson here, folks? Maybe you can't run a country like a reality show where you vote off the poor each episode. Maybe if our leaders spent less time tweeting about nuclear options and more time figuring out how to keep school lunch programs run 9, we'd all sleep better. Or at least eat better. America's a hungry giant right now. Hungry for leadership, for truth, for paychecks that clear and a Congress that can count. Till then, I'll be here with my microwave mac and cheese and my faith in the working folks who keep this place from falling apart. That's it for today's Poorly Educated podcast, where we ain't got all the answers, but we sure got a lot of questions and just enough snark to get through the news. Stay fed, stay free, and remember, if your government stops working, don't panic. You're already qualified to replace half of it.